Get the K right to the sight sex. Leave the fire and the roof style stuff. I'm on the grind like we're chasing the stars. For mil more to do, finally we've come so far. Talk about legends, yeah, we know the score. Ronnie and Bobby, we remember you more. From the highs of the Wembley fight to losing our trousers, still we ignite. Red and white with the pride, we're never gonna bow. Fighting like middlemen, hear the roar now. We're middlemen, we stand up tall. Through ups and downs, we give it all. For more to do.
Good evening and welcome to Terry's Talk. I'm your host, King Bush, and tonight we have a packed show for you. So we're going to discuss, obviously, the weekend's game. We go 9 unbeaten and another solid second half performance. And also we're going to discuss what came out of last evening's show about Matt Hamshaw and what happens after this season. We'll be discussing the incoming striker that looks set to be joining us. So we've got a packed show tonight. Please get your comments in and we'll try and go through every comment as they come in. Tonight I've got Bez with me. How you doing, Bez?
Yeah, all good. Yeah, thanks for having me on again as normal. Hope everyone else is all right. Hope you're all right, Bushy, as well.
Yeah, I'm well. I've got Adam, Hamshaw's #1 fan. We don't know where Adam starts and Hamshaw ends. I think we said on last night's show. So, how you doing, Adam?
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you, pal. Happy to be here.
Good man. And we've got the legend, the man that's caused the stir on the internet today with his comments. He's going to defend those comments later in the show, but we'll get into the game before that. How you doing, Tom?
Really good, Lee. Nice to see you, Bez, Adam. Yeah, really looking forward to what should be an eventful show.
Super. So we'll start with the draw with Wycombe, and I'm going to start with Bez. So, first of all, was you happy with the point? And just summarise your view on the sort of game.
Yeah, so was I happy with the point? Yeah, I think I was. I think that was like a better point than the point at Reading. I felt that, we all said, didn't we, that Reading wouldn't have got anything if it weren't for a wonder strike. So that were probably a disappointing 1-1 draw. But I think this was a decent draw. I felt we deserved it. We probably deserved to win the game. And you've got to remember that Wycombe, I think they were first or second in the form table before the game. So it was always going to be tricky. Obviously, we've still got injury issues, which I'm sure we'll come on to later. I felt we started relatively well. First 5-10 minutes, we kind of were pressing. We were all over him. Didn't really get any shots away, but I felt we were pressing quite high. And then I think when they started to get on top, we dropped deep, which was a concern. And I have to say, you could see the goal coming in for them. And then alternatively, when they scored their goal, I felt they just then dropped deep and, allowed us to attack them. And then for me, we then dominated the rest of the game. So the whole of the second half pretty much, and possibly 10 minutes of the first half. So yeah, for me, we deserved to win the game. They did have chances, but they only had chances because we were trying to attack and we were leaving ourselves a bit open and a bit vulnerable at the back. If it weren't for that, I don't think they'd have had those chances. We obviously created chances ourselves. We should have won the game, as I've already said. So yeah, happy with the draw. Felt we could have won it though, so I'm disappointed in that. But overall, happy with a 1-1 draw.
What I'm going to say to you, Bez, is obviously we're going to get on to Matt Hamshaw a little bit later. But what I would say is I believe Matt Hamshaw got us the point and potentially win, because I think the tactical change he made when he took Benson off and brought Holmes on changed the game. From that substitution, we took over the second half with that tactical change. That was what I would say.
Yeah, I'm not going to have a go at Hamshaw. He didn't do anything wrong, definitely not. I think you'll probably find that Benson probably got brought off because he was probably struggling with fitness and injury. And obviously, he felt that the only way we were going to go forward in the game was to get Holmes on. Because what I would say is the point about Douglas, and I'm sure we'll come to Douglas later, the fact that Hamshaw made that change suggests that he was concerned about Douglas and he wanted to get a more experienced defender on the pitch. That's what I think, personally.
Yeah. I disagree. I think, obviously, because if you were concerned about he took Douglas off, I think you were concerned about Benson because Benson had a shock, whether he injured or not. He had a shocking first half.
No, but there were midfielders on the bench he could have brought on. So my question back to you would be, if that's the case, why did he bring Holmes on, who's a centre back, instead of like a Yearwood?
Yeah, because Holmes is better than Yearwood, and if you watch the game, the way Holmes played, he was the one that was actually bringing the ball out and giving the ball to the midfielders. Because he can pass it about. He was absolutely phenomenal when he come on Holmes.
Oh no, I just on Holmes. We'll come to that comment in a minute from Kelly Forbos. So just on Holmes, defensively, he did really struggle. Honestly, if you watch it back, he did struggle, and Onyedinma Dimmer kept turning him, kept beating him. Tom Holmes, yeah, he did. I felt he struggled, but what he did do, and to be fair, Lee's already touched on it, his distribution was excellent, and that's why Tom Holmes is obviously a better defender, in my opinion, than Douglas, because I think Douglas on the ball is not the best, whereas Tom Holmes is superb.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's a better defender than Douglas, but I would say Holmes is better than Douglas, but I don't think Douglas did anything wrong in the game whatsoever.
No, I never said that. I just said that I think that Hamshaw. Yeah, I think Hamshaw.
If manager's worried, he's surely having a bad game, is what you're telling me.
No, you can have a good game, but still be concerned that a mistake is coming. Definitely. That's exactly what I feel about Douglas. Like he wins headers, but he still swings a leg sometimes and misses. He still plays passes into trouble. He does, whether you like him or not. He does do that, and that's the reason I felt Holmes came on instead of like a Yearwood. I don't know who else on bench in terms of midfield, but that for me is why he came on over like a midfielder. He's also wanting to get Joe Powell, I guess, into his rightful position. I think that's the reason why he made the shove. Joe Powell playing left wing back, and again, I don't think he did well defensively either. So that could be another reason why he did it, because he moved Powell into midfield, and obviously Reece James moved into left wing back. It's just my thoughts. This is my thoughts.
I just couldn't. We got Kelly Forbobs here. Bez, in your post match, you mentioned the Tom Holmes for Benson being negative. This allowed James to go to wing back, where he was great, and Powell to go into the attacking midfield role. So
in my post match, I never said that I thought it was negative. The comment that I said was that when he brought Holmes on for Benson, it could be classed as negative. So people around me at the ground were not happy that the sub was made and Holmes came on. Now I didn't question it at all. I wasn't sure at the time whether I felt that was a negative change or not. Obviously, I knew what we were going to do. We all knew we were going to move James into left wing back, and we was going to move Powell into midfield. But I personally never said it was negative. I said that it appeared negative, as in the fans around me appeared to be like that. That's where I got that from. My personal opinion was that change actually changed the course of the game and put us in control of the game. That's my personal opinion. I thought we were already in control of the game before the sub was made, personally. No, I thought first half, Wycombe shaded it. I thought they were the better team the first half. And then I thought, obviously, once we'd
made this sort of changes. I thought second half we absolutely tore them apart. I believe if it was a boxing match, the referee would have thrown the towel in second half because we was all over them. That's my personal opinion. I thought Spence again in midfield is just absolute. I mean, the biggest compliment I can give to him is he don't look out of place at side of Dango. That's the biggest compliment I can give to him because Spence has been absolutely fantastic. I'll go through a few more comments. John Sullivan, good evening, lads. Hope everyone is well. Good evening, Kelly. Evening, John. David, if we had a forward to come on in the second half, we would have come away with a win. Yeah, that's a great point. I think it's David Carroll. So, yeah, David, I think the issue is we need, and this is what I said in my post-match reaction, the time is for now for Tony Stewart to say, does he actually care about this football club? Does he want it to progress? If he does, he releases the fund because I've got it on good authority that Watmore has agreed to join us. And it is now just a case of Tony Stewart agreeing a package because I do know that obviously we've already overspent as budget. When we signed Tom Holmes, Hamshaw had to beg for that signature to be pulled over the line. And I believe there's a bit of friction at the club at the moment on whether Tony is going to release the money. I hope he does. And that deal does get over the line. But the player has actually said that he wants to sign. So it's all but done, bar the finances. So make of that what you will. But I think, yeah, David brings a great point. I think if we have a striker to come on, we win that second half. I'll go on to you, Adam. Obviously, Hamshaw's biggest fan.
No, I think.
What did you make of the game? Do you agree with Bez? Do you think what Bez was saying was right?
Actually, I disagree with Bez. I think Tom Holmes, when he come on, I'll go into the game in a minute, but I think Tom Holmes, when he come on, I agree. I didn't like the substitution at first, but obviously I'm not Hamshaw. He knows better than me. I'm thinking you bring an attacking midfielder, Benson. He's got the tricks and the flicks, free kicks, corners. He was taking corners on right hand side, and he brings Benson off, Holmes on. And I'm thinking, what's going off here? We're 1-0 down. Benson comes off, Holmes comes on. But then when I see first half, that
so
Fred.
You do agree with Bez?
No, I disagree.
No, you agree with him because what Bez is saying, he said, is that people around him thought that at the time the substitution was a negative substitution. Yeah. And if you're saying then, when he made it, you thought it was.
I thought it was also a negative substitution.
Yeah.
But Bez says Holmes. No, but Bez says Holmes were poor.
I said he was poor defensively, yeah. He was poor defensively, he was poor.
No, he wasn't. Holmes, where I say it, Holmes was fantastic. If Holmes were playing the full match, he'd have been the man of the match. Holmes on the second half, when he came on, he made every tackle. He was fantastic. Holmes was absolutely fantastic when he came on. I say where Holmes were playing on his line, Holmes was fantastic. Every challenge Holmes that dove into. But yeah, going back, I thought the substitution, Benson for Holmes, was negative. I thought, why bring Benson off? He's an attacking player. We're losing 1-0. Obviously, I'm not Hammy. Hammy knows better than me. Hammy's a masterclass. He was cooking his barbecue. And I thought, what's going off here? Why is he doing this? But obviously, I'm not managing. I don't know the players. And I thought, well, we're never going to win this. We're bringing Holmes on, no one up front. But when Holmes came on, he was an absolute masterclass. He was diving into everything. He helped Douglas out. Holmes was playing left of the back three. Because I thought at first it was 4-4-2. Because in the first half, Fred absolutely nailed us. That Odin Wimmy, he were on loan wheels last year. And he were getting behind Reece James, and it was him that caused us to go 1-0 down. And 3-4 times Fred were going behind us, whipping balls in, and they could have had a few in the first half, and we were terrible in the first half. Second half, he changes it up. Tom Holmes comes in, and I thought, at first I thought, what is he doing? And then I realised what's happening. Pushes Reece James up. Reece James is more attacking. Powell goes into his more natural position, and it second half he were 10 times better.
Yeah, so I mean, Tom, what were your thoughts? Whose camp are you in? Are you with Bez or are you with Adam with this one?
My first thoughts are I both agree with both of them regards negative substitution. I do. It's hard to call it really because I don't think Holmes was that great. Obviously, Adam does. Bez says you can see a mistake in him. That's fine. But my first half, I thought we were garbage. Well, not garbage. We're just like, ugh. Second half, I think we need. I'm just going to go straight to the point here. We need to win games at home at 1-1 in the second half. We do. We're a better team in the second half. No question about it. We're just lacking that killer instinct up top. So yeah, I mean, look, we should have won that game 2 or 3-1, in my opinion. Look, end of the day, we drawn the last 3 games. I think we have, haven't we?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So that's 6 points dropped in my head, right? That's 6 points dropped in my head, right? So, listen, we can all go on about this 9 unbeaten stuff, right? Yeah, great. What? But when there's draws involved in there, I mean, look, I don't know. We need Watmore over the line, personally. I think if we had a Duncan Watmore or a Sam Nombe second half, we win that game. We can't keep relying on the midfield to score goals for us. We can't. Because if you rely on midfield to score goals for you, eventually we will just end up in mid-table mediocrity. Personal opinion.
Fair enough. What was people's opinion on the referee? Because I thought the referee was terrible. I think there was a definite penalty on Jordan Hugel. I think their player should have had a red card for headbutting Dan Gore. I think the referee, they got some offsides way off for me. Like, they were clearly onside and they were flagging for offside. And I thought the officiating at the game was as poor as I've seen this season. What were your guys' thoughts on the sort of officiating?
Well, I didn't see the their line where I sit. So I sit in the Eric Twig. So obviously when Rotherham are attacking to the right hand side towards away fans, I can see everything. But on the left hand side, yeah, I don't know what happened there because he got a yellow card there, guy. And they were a bit of a scuffle, weren't they, Bez? Did you see it? That bit of a scuffle when it were in. I mean, I know Rich saw it. He saw it well because I couldn't make it out from where I sit.
Yeah, but he sort of he put his head into that goal. For me, if you do that,
even on replays, there's nothing on it. I mean, even on highlights, there's nothing there. So I don't know exactly what
we couldn't see it from where we were. Adam. It was obviously the other goal. The only people who could see it would be the fans behind the goal. So I can't really comment on it. I mean, I was annoyed that goal got booked. It sounds like he was the one who was the innocent party and he got booked, and that concerned me because we all know that Gore loves to fly into tackles, and I could have just seen Gore flying in and getting a second yellow. Thankfully, he didn't, but yeah, I couldn't see that happening.
Dave Carroll said if we had a forward, we would have won, but we have no forwards fit. Yeah. John Sullivan said he saw a punch. And it was a red card, he said the referee guessed.
See, I can't see it. I've been looking on all everything online. There's no, even on highlights, there's nothing about it. So I don't know what happened.
You can watch the game back, I think, on like if you've got Miller's player or whatever it's called these days.
But it's not on highlights anyway.
Yeah, you can watch the full game. So just haven't you got access to the Miller's?
Yeah, I have. I ain't got time to watch full game.
If you send us your code, then I'll watch it.
Lino was drunk on turkey juice.
Well, I was going to ask Adam about this because because of where I sit, I'm literally right at the back of the stand, like literally the back row. And every time I'm watching the linesman, I always can see offsides and onside really easily. But because I had my lad there, I wasn't really watching as much. And there were a lot where in the first half where we were attacking and the linesman just put his flag up quite a lot of times. And I was wondering, Adam, did he get most of them right then or not? Because I didn't really see, I'm not going to lie.
For us?
Yeah, so Rotherham were attacking and Rotherham were the team offside.
Yeah, there were one he didn't get right, but rest of them, I think you were all right.
Okay, fine. Okay.
So yeah, I thought the referee was poor. Obviously, you've mentioned Fred, who played for us, as having a good game, but it was actually Mullins that got the man of the match from FootMob. Obviously, he got one of the goals. But I thought I did like Fred when we had him. I wouldn't have minded signing him permanently, but he seemed to cause a few problems for us. But I think he looks good on the eye, but he doesn't. I don't think there's that much of an end product there with him, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. I mean, on Saturday, first half, obviously, because where we play, obviously Reece James were trying to push up, and Fred, he had the plan. He was just behind Reece James. First half, Fred were fantastic. Second half, Tom Holmes comes on. Fred were non-existent because Tom Holmes just bossed him, smashed him out of the game. But first half, Fred, I thought he was a good player. But obviously, because we've got Reece James at left wing back, and he was just getting behind him all the time. There were 3-4 times Fred got behind him, cross ball in, and obviously Fred with an assist for their goal. But that Mullins, apart from his goal, I didn't see him do much all game. Same with Rotherham. That Carly Woodrow, I rate him. I know Amy wanted him pre-season. He was one of the two players that Amy wanted to sign. That Collie Woodrow, I know he's been at Barnsley, he's been at Fulham, he's been at a few clubs, and I thought I used to like him, think he's a good striker. Saturday, he was non-existent. Same with the other guy that come on. But one thing I will say about Wycombe, they must have some sort of international scouting thing, because if you notice, they've only got 3 English players. The rest are Norwegian, Swiss. There's only 3 English players in that Wycombe team, so there must be something they're scouting away. I know we started it in Holland, but is that time to things to come getting players from overseas?
Just on you didn't so Adam's right. First half, you were excellent. It wasn't actually Reece James who he was beating; it was Joe Powell. So that's obviously Joe Powell's not a defender, to be fair to him. But Anya Dimmer running ragged, he really did. Now, obviously, where I disagree with Adam is that I felt that Anya Dimmer had a good second half as well, and that's when he were attacking Holmes. Obviously, there were one where he got a ball played into his feet. He turned Holmes and got a shot away. Not a great shot, but he still got a shot away. And that's where I felt Holmes struggled. He's obviously, I think Holmes' weakest point is his pace. He's not got a lot of pace. Now, that might come back the fitter he gets, but I found that Anya Dimmer were beating him for pace quite a lot. That were my thoughts on him.
Yeah, I disagree. I thought when Holmes come on, he was absolutely fantastic. John also thought he was quiet after Holmes came on. He marshalled him very well. Ian Besley, I sit about 5 rows from the front, in front of Bez, with a very fickle group of fans, and I felt that the Lino got most calls right. So yeah.
England this year. Is that your dad?
Yeah.
You must sit near me then, because I sit about 10 rows.
He sits about. I think he sits 5 rows from the front, not in front of me. So, like, if you know where I am, Adam, If you literally look where I am and go straight down, he's literally 5 rows from the front there.
I bet he's next to me because I'm in WS2,
Right.
K 33.
Could be.
So regarding the obviously Romeo says, when's Duncan coming in? So
it's a good question that, because sorry Lee, what I don't get about Duncan is that obviously he was hyped up last season but never played, and we all felt as fans, didn't we? He must not be that good then, he's not playing. But when he played against like Swindon, he was actually excellent. So I really don't know why he's not really getting a chance when we've not got any fit centre halves. I just don't know at all.
Yeah, so I think he's on about Duncan Watmore.
Oh, sorry. I thought that Addison Duncan then. All right, okay.
Yeah, so Duncan Watmore, obviously it's basically the players agreed to come to Rotherham, and we're just waiting for Tony Stewart to hopefully sign it off. However, we are over budget, so I believe there is a bit of friction at the club at the moment whether or not Hamshaw will get his man. It's all down to the chairman. So for me, I think Hamshaw, for me, I know Bez's going to say I'm pro Hamshaw now or whatever, but I would say he's done enough to deserve backing it with the striker, because I think the performances have improved. They're not still where I'd want them to be fully. I still think we should be higher in the table than we have. But I think Hamshaw has shown enough, and the team are showing real fight and effort despite not having players. And I think it would be a shame that if he was not to give him the money to sign Watmore. And I think Watmore would make a massive difference. I mean, what do you think, Tom, with Watmore? Do you think he makes a big difference? I do, personally. I think he makes a massive difference.
A massive difference, Lee. A huge difference. A night and day difference. We're currently signed 13th, right? What have we been missing against Luton, against Wycombe? Who did we play before Luton? Who did we play before Luton? Whatever, it was a draw, wasn't it? I think that's the difference between draws and 3 points.
Lincoln
won. So I think he's a bloke who knows where the onion bag is, right? He knows how to score. He knows how to score goals. Proper striker.
I think he's a Rotherham United sort of player as well. For me,
he is.
Yeah, I think he would be a perfect signing, and it'd be madness not to do it with the injuries we've got. Like I say, I know that I believe Tony Stewart had said you need to let somebody out before we can bring somebody else in. You're not going to be able to let anybody out when there's no transfer window open. So it's a very difficult situation to do that. I think we've just got to get him in, and then in January maybe send Atete back and send Sheriff back because they're just not working. And then obviously that money that they were paying for them goes on Watmore. But it's a difficult situation, but we have got to get a striker in, because what is going to happen next, and you can see it a million miles away, Jordan Hugill is putting his body through the absolute mire every week. That foot has not healed. He's going to cause serious damage and he'll be out long term, and then we'll have no strikers. And let me tell you, we will be totally screwed with no strikers. So yeah, it's a difficult one. John Sullivan says it's waiting Karen to sign off the fax machine. Ian Besley, E21 here. Romeo F7343 says tight pants, Tony. No chance. Why are we keeping the carded laughs, sending back pointless no loan? It doesn't just work like that.
We've got until May 2026. We signed the contract.
Yeah, if you want to send a player back early, there's penalties you have to pay. And it'll probably be the full loan what you've got to pay anyway. So it wouldn't make any business sense to send him back if you've still got to pay for him. So you couldn't do it because you're not gaining anything from doing that. You can't, like you say, you get low if it's virtually agreed with both clubs that they agree to take take him back and there's no sanction, then it's a no-brainer. But I very much doubt Cardiff are going to lose out on money.
Why are Cardiff going to accept him back? He's injured until March. Why are Cardiff?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're not going to do it, are they?
No.
2 strikers be going back. So what's the problems? Tony baffles me sometimes. Never gives us a chance to go any further without luck. Yeah, totally agree. But like I say, it's a difficult one. Comment coming here. User says Watmore is not a striker. He's a winger.
Well, he's a number 10. So you think Watmore's a little...
I think he plays perfectly off Jordan Hugill.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. I agree. I'm not Hugill's biggest fan, but when McWilliams come on the other day, I 100% thought Hugill. If anyone saw Hugill, he could hardly walk, and he was stumbling back, and he played the full game. Credit to Hugill, 100%. When McWilliams come on, I thought Hugill's going off, and he didn't change. McWilliams come on, I can't remember who come off, but Hugill literally couldn't walk. He were literally hobbling back to centre full position.
And what I'm saying is he's going to cause serious damage at some point.
You get Hugill and Watmore, even though Watmore's not a proper striker, you get Hugill and Watmore. While Ndombi's not out, Watmore's fast. He might be a winger, but you get Hugill and Watmore. Hugill's going to get balls into him, and he's going to finish.
And the good thing with Watmore is I think he'll work the press like Ndombi does. So with Hugill, you don't. He can't do it anymore. He can't do the press. What you want him to do it. So Watmore will also pick up that.
Yeah, and anyone wants to slag Watmore off. Watmore's played Championship for his last 15 years of his life, so he's been at
League One. It's virtually another cheat code.
Oh, it is. It's ridiculous. League One at minute. Absolutely terrible.
Romeo says, I thought I'd read that Rob Scott worked a deal so we could send them both back in January. Can anyone fact check that? I'm not sure.
No,
it's not true.
No one knows. No one knows. Every single loan deal is a different deal. So some of the loans that we get in, we can send him back, no charge. Some loans that we get in, we can't send him back. They can recall him. So every deal's different. And I don't think anyone here knows what the deals are.
Look, obviously, Ateti's out till March. Why have you not sent him back?
Because you can't send him back till January. You can't. So for Rotherham, can't do anything until January 1st, no matter what. So that includes Sheriff.
Well, that's what Romeo's saying, that they can send them both back in January. So that may happen.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So Adam's trying to say that he thinks that Rotherham have got Ateti to end the season no matter what because we've not sent him back already. And I'm trying to explain that you can't send him back until January, regardless of whether he can go or not.
If we've agreed a season-long loan deal, why can't we send him back in January?
Well, I'm saying we can. We might do. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. There's a chance we can do.
All loan deals are kind of different. A lot of it is worked out with the clubs, and sometimes they can have a gentleman's agreement where they'll say, "Look,
I think Sheriff definitely. He could go back to Everton. Obviously, he's got better care there. He's got their facilities at 10 times, about 20 times.
His recovery is at Everton anyway.
Yeah,
he's not. His recovery is not with us.
Yeah.
Romeo Hugill redemption arc. We're all here for it. The sending back was in the advertiser apparently, so that.
Also, that's Paul Davis then. So you're going to believe what he says? I don't think so.
Oh, get Adam!
Adam, I thought you'd be Paul Davis' biggest fan.
Yeah, he writes lovely things.
He was on show, yeah. You're like brothers, you Adam, you and Paul Davis.
Never met a worse. Well, I'm not going to say it. Go on, carry on. Next.
Just on a side note, shout out to Wycombe and Rotherham for the tribute shown to Owen, who sadly passed away last week. Amazing support from the fans and club. Yeah, and I want to second that because it was absolutely fantastic. Because, yeah, anyone can get involved with just the clap, but I believe the chairman called the club and asked what they could do to help or support with it as well, which is an absolutely fantastic touch from Wycombe Football Club. So, yeah, I can't say anything but good things about that. And what I want to say to the club as well, the video before the game was a lovely touch. So things like that is bigger than football. So, yeah, fantastic by the football club. It gets a very sort of raw deal with the fans on what the club is doing, and it does struggle off the pitch sometimes. But actually, I think they got this one spot on with the young lad with cancer, which is an awful story. And thoughts go out to all his family and friends. It was sadly missed by everybody. Look for the coup Rotherham United pulled off in their summer loan business article.
Okay.
That's a Paul Davis one. Whether it's true or not, it's up to you. Up to you, Adam, if you believe it's true. Here, the video was brilliant. Yeah, it was. They rung us and give a donation. So, yeah, fantastic. So, on to the equalising goal, what we scored. Kean Spence, I mean, what a finish. What a team goal again. And we're saying this regular now. So, come on, we do have to give praise where it's due. The team are producing better football. There's in my eyes, there's no question we are playing as a team better football. It's just fantastic that we've got our Rotherham United back, the team spirit that was so badly missed last season. Because I believe even last season we had the players, we just didn't have the team spirit. I think we had too many big time Charlies. I mean, I love Malik Wilkes, but what the guy is, he's meant to come across quite big-headed, quite greedy, not a team player. And we had a few of them playing last season. And I think out of anything that I will say of Matt Hamshaw, I'm not saying I'm a Matt Hamshaw lover. I did label him Big Boy. But what I would say is I have to give him massive credit for getting that team spirit back in a short period of time. And that is impressive because people think that's easy to do. It's not. When you've got young professional footballers earning decent money, to get camaraderie and the team wanting to play for Rotherham United, when they don't, none of them support Rotherham. Let's bear no bones about it. But they're actually, and you look at Jordan Hugill, fans were slagging him off, saying he don't want to be here. And I told you, I know for a fact Jordan wants to be here. He wanted to be here last season. He wanted to play under Evans as well. So it's nothing to do with anything like that. He's always wanted to play. People just get a bee in the bonnet because he's on good money and get jealous. It's a jealousy thing with Jordan Hugill. I've seen it so many times. I saw it with Kevin Watson. Fantastic player, but because he'd got a high pedigree, he'd made good money in the game. You drive around in a nice car in Rotherham and the car's worth more than people's houses. People get upset, you know what I mean? But that's life, lads. You just got to work. You got to work damn hard, don't you, to get what you've got. They've made it in life, and you can't hate on them just because they've done well for themselves. And then it's they don't want to play for Rotherham United. There's no passion. This guy is a millionaire, Jordan Hugill. However, he's putting his body on the line, going out with broken feet, bruised feet, colds, everything, and he's making himself available every week. And you've got to, from a guy that's sleeping in silk pajamas to pulling himself out on South Yorkshire cold, wet, windy days to come and play for our football club, I think you've got to give him fantastic credit. Pete Scott brings a fantastic point, and I totally agree with this point. Spence is turning into Lee Frecklington. I think he is, you know. I absolutely love Kean Spence. Bez, I don't think you're as sold, are you? But talk to me.
No, I was the one who defended. I was going to defend Spence when someone, as I've mentioned it before, where I can't remember where, but when we were going through the transfer recruitment early on in this podcast, someone said about Spence, and then there was a reply where someone had said he was in the team of the year for League Two, and someone kind of dissed him for that. I don't know who it was, but they had to go at him for that. And for me, if you're
probably me, best.
It could have been. Yeah, it could have been.
Yeah,
but
it may have been me. I don't know if it was. But when we signed him, I did think, why are we signing a player from Barrow?
Yeah, and I think that's the issue. Like when he first started, he didn't. I don't think he was great when he first started. It's taken him 3 months, 4 months to get into his stride. But I think this is a clear example of players do deserve a chance. When you get a new player in, you can't just write them off after 1 or 2 games or a month.
I remember seeing him pre-season and thinking, wow, what a player. But then he got injured. And then I saw him again. I thought he was quality in the game I saw him, but then he got injured again. So he's had like a stop-start, but now he's starting a run of games. And I think he is very Lee Freckington-esque because he keeps turning up in the right place at the right time. And that's what you need from a midfielder. Because without our midfielders this season, we're probably still in the bottom half of the table.
I think
the midfield is in this team massively.
Yeah, I mean, I've said it before. It's not just Chaos Fans. I think the recruitment has been good. I really do think our general recruitment has been good, and you can go through almost every single player that we've brought in and say something positive about them. Which I can't remember the last time we've done that. I mean,
even Yearwood's not playing, but I really like Yearwood.
Yeah. See, a player that I would rather talk about actually, because again, this is a player that I'm still undecided on, and I felt he really struggled on Saturday, but I heard someone say he was out of position basically, and I kind of agree with that, and that's Marta. I thought Marta really struggled on Saturday, even though he set the goal up, right? And someone came back to me and basically said, but he's a winger, he's not a number 10, which is where you were playing. And to be fair, that's fair enough. I just wonder if we can get Marta in his right position, which is right wing or left wing. I think you've got a player there. I do. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, I think on Saturday, I thought Powell struggled. I thought Benson really struggled. And that's why I was impressed with Matt Hamshaw when he took Benson off, because I thought that changed the game. I really like Benson, but he really was struggling. The thing with Martha is, don't forget, he's just been travelling all around the world and only just kind of come back as well. And he's only young. So I think the problem with Martha is a bit like Fred. He can beat a man. He's got all the skill. He's quick. He's good at stuff. But sometimes his final bit just lets him down. Like at the weekend, there were a few times where he could have crossed it and he tried to beat the man again, or he did cross it, but it was a poor cross. Obviously got the assist. So he was the good thing with him, even though he sometimes does make mistakes, he still wants the ball, which that's what I like about him.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah,
there's a lot to work with Martha.
He
had a great game, but he is a work in progress.
We as a club, we as a club and fans have got to be patient with him. I don't want, if he makes a mistake where he tries to beat someone and loses the ball and they score, we can't just ridicule him for it. We have to be patient with him. If he's not that good in a year's time, then fair enough. But we have to be patient with him, is what I'd say about Martin.
David Carroll 6521 says, "Great show. Can we have more?" I think somebody mentioned that to you at the game, didn't they, Bez? They
did. Yes, I was just in the pub and getting a drink, and the bloke who were kind of next to me said, "Oh, you're that guy from the podcast." And I said, "Yeah." And we were talking for a little bit, and he just said he likes the podcast because we're quite honest and we just say how we're feeling, and he thinks that we need to do another one in order for us to kind of grow as a channel. He thinks there needs to be a second Rotherham live podcast. Yeah, so obviously something we have to think about. Yeah,
something we can look at. It's hard enough trying to get Adam on a Monday, let alone another night. Well, that's the problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, he's got all these birds on go. What do you expect?
All these news.
He'll be asking to up his appearance fee. Yeah. You know what I mean? I won't be able to afford him soon. All these likes he's getting. Rob Scott brought some brilliant players. look at Denzel Hall. Yeah, so, I mean, this is what frustrates me about Rotherham fans. So everybody was slagging Rob Scott off last season for the recruitment. This season, everybody's praising Matt Hamshaw as though he signed them. But actually, Rob Scott went to abroad and scouted these players. Sort of, I believe it was nearly 2 years ago. He's been scouting Denzel Hall and Martha. So you have to give credit to Rob Scott. And I think, to be honest with you, Rob Scott is really good. I think he's underrated because he was the one that brought Lee Frecklington. He was the one that brought Ben Pringle. He was the one that brought all them good players through the first time. So he was in the recruitment when all them players come through. So I think you've got to cut him a little bit of slack. Obviously, when Evans come, he looked for an older profile of players, and it didn't work. They were hoping to try and get promotion straight away. It didn't
I think
work.
that were Evans, though, mainly wanting that.
Yeah, but he still has to work with Rob Scott. So Rob Scott still has to get, he'll give him a profile of player. Rob Scott goes and gets them. So, shows how the recruitment has been when Drew Yearwood can't get a game. Exactly. And that's what I also say about the midfield. Our midfield is that good that Drew Yearwood and Benson struggle to get in there every week. And they're two fantastic players. So the midfield is carrying this team. The midfield is absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think our midfield too, Dangor and Spence, there's not a better midfield in League One. Dangor, I sing his praises every week. First half, yeah, he was a bit quiet. Second half, the guy was immense. There was one chance I remember, and they were throwing goal, and it were the last man, and it were Dangor that blocked the shot.
Brilliant, Adam. Yeah, brilliant. It was brilliant. Yeah,
it were absolutely fantastic. And Dangor, he were just the guys. That's why I say I keep as much as Hamshaw protest to Tony. The guy needs a 5-year deal. Dangor, Tony should be knocking on his door on Sunday morning. Dan, let's have a word. How much do you want? Blank check. Rotherham's highest ever player, 4-year deal. The guy, even if we sell him in 2 years, he's going to make us 10 million. I've never.
I agree with you, Adam. Yeah.
I've never in my life. I've only been back to England since 2021, so I didn't see the Frecklington. I've saw him on telly, but I didn't see him in real life. But Dangor, since 2021, since I've been watching Rotherham, the best midfielder I've ever seen. His passes, he's like a snooker player. He can see everything. And obviously, the first game I ever saw him, I didn't think he was that much. But now, obviously, Ami's trained him up, and Dale Long.
I don't think it's anything to do with Hami's training. I think it's to do with the ability of the player, to be honest with you. He's just
and rest of the coaching staff. But
you don't get to the United Academy if you've not got ability.
Exactly. And he was captain at under 21s when he were at Man U, so he's no.
Mate, I'll tell you a story. He was rated higher than Kobe Mainu when he was coming through at United. Yeah. But obviously injuries curtailed that. But he was the biggest prospect in the United Academy. But he's had injury after injury. They reckon he was on a par with sort of Phil Foden at City.
I can understand it. I bet, to be honest, Kobe Mainoo's nowhere now, is he? He's not even in. He's training under 21s.
Yeah, my friend, he works at the United Academy, Pete, and he'll tell you everything about Dangor. Anything he doesn't know about Dangor, what I will say is, from speaking to Pete last week, Dangor is absolutely loving it at Rotherham United. His family love coming to watch him as well at the games, and the player would be open to a move because he feels that there's no future at Old Trafford and he's enjoying playing every week. So it would be down to Rotherham. I personally don't think Tony Stewart would.
I know. I think somebody's championship
mile
in for him.
But you never know. Quite a lot of comments coming in. I'll go through some of these. You've seen the complaints made to the club about the roof leaking in the family stand, currently affecting around 200 to 300 fans when it rains. Club not responding. It's a mess. I've not seen that,
I've not
John.
seen that. Hey, John, you should look at Man United. They're affecting about 5,000 fans. Their roof leaks.
Do you want to move on to the main topic of the show, Bush?
Yeah, I will. Yeah, I will do. I could go through these things though. So, and both of them were valued $1 million at one point. Kelly Forbog goes definitely improved while he's been with us.
Yep.
John Gore is pure quality. Gore will be either a heartbreaker or he could be like Barlasser. No one saw him coming in permanently. And Romoff, that's what I'm hoping, because I never thought we'd get Dan Barlasser on a permanent, and we did. So I'm hoping the same happen. I'll message you about it. Yeah, message me about it. I'll look into that. He will believe the environment and the atmosphere that Matt Hamshaw has created at the training ground is different gravy. And yeah, I've agreed to that. So we're going to talk about, obviously, the big sort of talking point when the news broke last night. Turbo Tom was on our Sunday service show with Bill, and they got into a conversation. So I'm going to explain the conversation, and I just want you to, I don't want to make it sort of wrong for you, Tom. So if it's wrong of what I'm saying, I just want you to correct me. So this was how the conversation went. So he asked you if Rotherham get promoted, would you keep Matt Hamshaw? Your response was no. You'd say thank you, sack him, and move on and get a better manager. And I think John was saying Chris Wilder or someone else, which we wouldn't get anyways at Sheffield United. He's not going to leave Sheffield United for Rotherham. But then he also flipped it back and said, so if you don't go up, would you keep him? You also both said no. So if we go up and get promoted to the Championship, you would sack him because he's not good enough for the Championship. And if we stay in the league, you would also sack him because he should have got us promoted. So he can't win. So I'm just confused at all this. So obviously it's not an opinion that I subscribe to, and I'll tell you why, but I want you to give me your best argument for this, and then I'll ask Adam, then I'll ask Bez, and then I'm going to tell you what I think.
Right, okay, thank you. Right, so first and foremost, it's just an opinion. Nobody needs to be offended by an opinion. It's just words, isn't it? So, the reason I've said that, and there's a few things that come into this, I believe that League One is utter garbage, right? Now, there is some caveats here. If we start playing like prime Barcelona and the football is absolutely incredible, right? And we go up, then fair enough. But here we
you're
go.
changing it a little bit now.
No.
What he should have done is played that from last night and what he said.
No, so listen, right? I believe if we got to the Championship, to the panel, how many managers in our current, since we've been supporting Rotherham, have got us to the second division or the Championship and kept us up after they got us promoted? 2.
Evans.
Steve Evans.
And Ronnie Moore. No, Taylor didn't. No,
he didn't get us promoted, did he?
Oh, no, he survived in Championship.
He survived with us, right? So, what my thinking is, right, is yes, we go up, and I think this league is terrible. And I think we all probably agree with that. I think it's terrible. If we go up, right, why not be proactive and say, do you know what, Matt, you've done a cracking job there, mate. You've got us up, but we're not here for any sort of sentiment, right? In life, there's better people at your job than you are, right? Which is complete fact. If somebody came and said, look, I'm a better manager than him, you're not going to say, no, we're going to be loyal. Because if Matt Hamshaw, bookmark this, right, clip it, if we got promoted, and let's say Sheffield Wednesday, which they are going to get relegated, offered Matt Hamshaw the job. Anybody here think Matt Hamshaw would stay with us? Not a chance.
No,
Right?
she's a Sheffield Wednesday fan.
Exactly. So there's no loyalty in football. Yes, he'll get us up, but if he got us up last season with how good that league was, then fair enough, right? Paul Warne, his master, right, could never survive in the Championship. Hence why he's down in League Two with the biggest budget in League Two, managing MK Dons, right? Managers have ceilings, right? They have ceilings. There's no room for sentiment. There's no room for loyalty in football, right? Hamshaw got us promoted. And Mark, the Coventry fan on Sunday night show last night, made a really good point. Let's say the first 5 games of the Championship next season, when we get promoted, bookmark that, right? We lose all 5, or draw a couple, lose 3, or win 1, lose 4, whatever. That's the squad you are stuck with. That's the manager you're stuck with. There's no point changing the manager then. We've got to be proactive and not reactive. So that was my point. If we don't get promoted, on the flip side, then yes, absolutely get rid, because we will lose at a pittance. Denzel Hall, Arjani Martha, Sam Nombe. Dan Gore will go back to Man United and get sold to a top-end Championship club. It'll be an absolute disaster, and it will not be a rebuild because we'll be absolutely decimated, right? It's imperative we get promoted this season, and if we do, we say, cheers, Matt, you've got your hometown club into the Championship. However, let's now move on, because history will tell us that your mate Paul could never keep us in this league, right, with your tactics. So that's where I stand on that, gents.
Right, so I'll let Adam go first. So you...
So I think, unfortunately, Tom last night, he'd had a few too many scoops. Don't agree at all. Absolutely ridiculous comments. I mean,
fair enough.
So you're saying we'll lose all... So look at Sunderland. Sunderland in Premier League now. The 6th in the league, came up from Championship, kept the same manager. Look at who would have said Sunderland was 6th in the league. They've probably got one of top 4th lowest budgets. I mean, if Hammy gets us promoted, you've got to give him the chance. Why would you not?
Adam, can I come back with you now, right? So Daniel Farke, when he was manager of Norwich City, right? How did he get on when he kept getting them promoted?
I'm on about Daniel Farke. I'm on about...
No. How Leeds United getting on this season?
Well, yeah, Leeds have not sacked him, though. They're putting trust in him, aren't they?
Well, they need to sack him. What happened with Darren Moore at Sheffield Wednesday?
Yeah, but listen,
Did they get Danny Roll after that?
Yeah, but what's Tony going to give Hamshaw in Championship? What every other manager's got? Peanuts. If Hamshaw first 5 games worth... Okay, in first 5 games in Championship, I mean, gets us promoted, we win first 5 games, are you going to suddenly say sack him? You're going to be like, I'll be with you, and you'll be like, Matt Hamshaw's red and white army, stand with next to me. Of course you are.
100%. However, right, I believe, right, that we need to take a different approach. Who's better manager, Paul Warne or Matt Hamshaw, Adam?
Now, I'd say Matt Hamshaw. Look at Paul Warne at MK Dons. He's got biggest budget in League Two. What are MK Dons now? I've not looked, but you've got to give him... It's not about in the Championship. It's more about what Tony... Say if Hammy says, I want this £1 million player, this £2 million player who've just been promoted to Championship. Tony suddenly says, you've only got 250k, 350k, which he always has done, what are you going to do? It's not. I think it's more. I mean, if Mourinho or Jurgen Klopp had us in championship, would they do any better?
Right, then, Adam, I knew you'd say this, right? So we get promoted to the championship, right? We get promoted to the championship, and then Pep Guardiola knocks on the door of Tony Stewart and said, "Listen, I'm sick of managing these cheats that are Man City, right? Right? Can I come and manage Rotherham United? Who are you choosing? Hammy or Pep Guardiola?"
Because Pep will go, "What's my budget?" And Tony will go, "Oh, it's you can buy 5 players, you got to buy 4 on free, and one you can have 250k." Pep will go, "Piss off, Tony." I'm sure proved he's a good coach. He coaches the players. Look at Dango, look at Kean Spence. Even can you not say Hugo's not been the best player you've ever seen? Apart from Championship, when Hugo's scoring goals, has Hugo not been the best he's been since he's been at Rotherham, since Sammy's been in charge?
I think Hugo's been very effective, and I love the guy. I think he'll
bring in
Rick Walsh.
I've never seen him as good. Joe Rafferty, same. Last year, Joe Rafferty, I thought, absolute waste of wages. Joe Rafferty, captain, he's been absolutely fantastic. Who else? Obviously, he's brought in all these young players. Marta, Denzel Hall's more than capable of playing at Championship. We're building a team for Championship. Hammy's at the wheel, and he's going to be sorting us out there.
Right. So Bez, go on, Lee. Go on.
Oh, sorry, Bez, you give me your thoughts. Can you give your thoughts to Tom?
Yeah.
Tom can answer it.
I mean, I was listening to Tom there, and I listened to Adam, and obviously I agree with stuff that Tom says, and disagree with stuff that Tom says, and I agree with something Adam says, and so on and so forth. I think Tom's point of view is probably not a Rotherham United and a Matt Hamshaw point of view. I think what Tom's trying to say is that historically, when a team goes up from one division to the next and that team then fails, he wants to be proactive in bringing a manager in for that league. So what he's saying is we got to League One, up to the Championship. You do lose Hamshaw because Hamshaw would be your League One manager, and you bring in a Championship quality manager. I think that's what Tom's trying to say. Yeah. I do think that there's an element of look, I still have my doubts over Hamshaw. I've openly said that, and I think Tom does as well. So I almost think that that Tom, a little bit like me, is still unsure on Hamshaw and his qualities, right? And I think that's playing a part, because if Rotherham were to get promoted, it's hard for me and Tom to turn around and say, bloody hell, Hamshaw's not very good, or he's not this, or he's not that, because of one promotion. And I think there's a little bit of that in there. I personally think that if Hamshaw won promotion, then I have to agree with Adam, then I think he would deserve a chance in the Championship. Yes, we'd probably go down, but I think he deserves a chance. He deserves 10 games or 15 games, whatever it might be. Okay. So that's where I stick, to be honest.
Where do you sit on if we don't get promoted? Do you sack him?
Again, it all depends on how the season folds. No, Rotherham are currently, 12th or 13th in the league. 13th. And so where? 13th, yeah. So, I mean, it's interesting that, we're all on this show, and Adam and yourself, Bushy, and me to an extent, we're all praising Hamshaw, and we're praising...
Fire alarm's gone off, Dave.
We're all praising... Sorry about that. We're all praising Hamshaw, but we still are 13th in the league. We've not been in top 10, I don't think, all season. And I still think that the quality of this team is good enough and should be good enough to get top 6. So if Rotherham were to finish 10th or below, Hamshaw should get sacked. That is what I think. However, if they finish in top 6 and they lose in playoffs, I'd probably be happy to stick with Hamshaw. And that's where I sit.
Right, I'm going to go through all the comments, and then I'm going to give my verdict on this. So we've got some laughing faces. Kelly Forbobs, how do you know he's not good enough for the Championship, Tom?
He doesn't.
Well, because I don't. It's all hypothetical. But what I will say is that his master, his Jedi master, wasn't good enough for the Championship. Fact.
Okay. There is better, but they don't want to come here.
Nonsense. If we pay them the money, they will come.
Adam, Sunderland spent 60 million.
Yeah, in Premier League, of course.
Had Tony Stewart backed Warney, he would have kept us in the Championship.
Exactly.
Kelly
Yes, it's the manager. It's TS.
Spot on, Adam, top lad from Kelly Forbobs. Warney would have kept us in the champs if we not had played 50 games in a row in 3 weeks.
Agree with that. I actually do agree with Romoff 7343.
And Rotherham Gaming is saying zzz, so I don't know who that's to. Maybe all of us, I don't know. Rotherham Gaming, to. Right, so this is going to be. I want to have a battle with you here, Tom. So I want you to fight your corner because you're going to need to. Okay. So everybody knows I have not been Matt Hamshaw's biggest fan. I was the man that called him Big Boy. I thought he was out of his depth. I thought the football we were playing is absolutely awful. I think the league is awful. I still think now, currently, as it stands, we're 13th. I'm not happy with 13th. Despite this run we've been on, there's a lot of draws in there. There's a lot of games and teams I feel we should beat. There's a lot of teams we've lost to that I'm embarrassed to lose to, like Mansfield, like Doncaster. Losing to pub teams like them is absolutely appalling. Yeah, so I will start with that before. Obviously, I know Bez keeps saying I'm kind of pro Hamshaw now, but
I can't think change.
No, what I would say is I've recognised that Hamshaw is turning things around. Yeah. Not to a stage of, I think, he's the best manager since sliced bread, but he has actually brought my Rotherham United back where there's passion again. He's actually got me to a point where I actually am interested in watching the games again, which I'd lost interest at some point of the season. I think that he's got the players on side. I think we are playing better football, albeit only in spells. Now, I think with all the adversity that we've had with injuries, with how the ownership is absolutely pathetic. The club is run like a backstreet ASD lighting corner shop. Yeah. And if he gets us promoted, with bearing in mind we've got probably the 7th best budget, so we haven't got the best budget. So I know you mentioned Daniel Farke and Leeds should have sacked him, but Daniel Farke had the best team in the Championship and got them promoted. He should have got them promoted. We haven't got the best team in the Championship with the best budget in the Championship like Leeds had. So that's an unfair comparison, in my view, to compare it with Leeds, because Leeds are a much bigger club with a much bigger budget and much bigger expectations. They were the favourites to win the Championship.
And just on that budget, sorry, I just want to come back on that though. Just so I think that Rotherham's got one of the best squads in this league, and that's nothing to do with how much we're paying. That's me watching games, though. So surely money's irrelevant in a way. Surely you can say
money's not irrelevant. Money's not irrelevant.
It can be. You don't need to spend money to get promoted. Definitely not.
Nonsense.
Well, that's credit on Rob Scott and Matt Hamshaw then.
Yeah, you'll get the odd team that get away with it, but eventually, in the finances, you get found out. That's why Man City win everything. That's why Man United win anything. That's why all the top clubs have got the most money. None of these clubs. That's the football pyramid.
I don't think Brentford have got a lot of money. I don't think Bournemouth have, and they're doing really well in the Premier League. So that's what I think.
They've got a lot more money than us, and they've got a lot more money than a lot of Championship clubs.
But they've got. I reckon Brighton, Brentford, and Bournemouth are all bottom 6, right, in terms of what they spend, and they're all all of them are pretty much top half.
No, I disagree. Because. And it's not only that. So, okay, you're saying it's not money.
No, not just money. I said not just money.
Okay, it's not. But if you look at Brighton, you look at Bournemouth, and you look at all these clubs, how they run off the pitch, totally different to Rotherham United.
Yeah, he
They've
is.
got a great academy.
Yeah,
They've
yeah,
got
yeah.
great these facilities. They've got great owners that spot talent. We've got nothing.
No.
So why are we expecting Matt Hamshaw and any manager that we've actually got to pull rabbits out of the hat every season?
And I get that. No, and I do get that.
Poorly. And I think sometimes, yeah, I agree with you. We have got one of the best squads. We should get.
Yeah.
I would say if we do not get in the playoffs, we sack Matt Hamshaw. I'll back that. But what I will not back is us getting promoted and then saying, thank you, Matt Hamshaw, but goodbye. No, because I think he deserves a chance then at getting us promoted. And I think the argument of Paul Warne taught him, so he can't do it, is wrong. Because that would be like saying, who's ever taught you at sales? You can't be better than that man that taught you. Because the person that taught me at business, I'm better than him. Because I'm a person that learns off other people, and you become stronger as a business person and as a better person. So you get your power stronger than the person that taught you. So you're going to tell me your school teacher is better than you, Adam. You can never achieve more than your school teacher. You can't, Pez. You can't, Tom. I don't agree with that. So Hamshaw is his own man. Yeah. Yeah, he's worked under Matt Hamshaw, but the coaching stuff, sorry, Paul Warne, the coaching stuff is done separately. He doesn't put him through his badges. You do that at a football academy or wherever you do it. You don't do it there. So I disagree with the fact that because he worked under Paul Warne didn't survive in the championship, so Matt Hamshaw won. I like to think that Matt Hamshaw's learned from the mistakes of Paul Warne made whilst he was in the championship, and he grows and becomes a better manager. Do I think he can do it? I don't know, because I'm still not 100% convinced about what he's doing fully. But I think if he gets us promoted, he deserves that chance to give us a shot at the championship. And then if you sort of 15, 20 games in and it's not working and he looks out of his depth, then you maybe look to make a change. But if he's got us promoted with the 7th best, say it's the 7th best, which when the reports come out, it was, we've got the 7th best budget. We've got an horrendous injury situation going on at the football club. So if he gets us promoted from this situation with no real sort of plan from above, he's kind of built that team spirit himself. For me, he deserves a chance.
So, okay, then, Lee, so let me ask you a question then. So we all know that Rotherham are the 7th, have the 7th biggest budget in this. That's a fact, right? So why are you wanting Rotherham to get top 2 then?
We haven't. They were released last week. We have got the 7th highest wage bill in League One. That's fact.
Yeah. So if Rotherham finished 7th, then based on your thoughts, you should be really happy with that, because that's the budget that we've got. That's what you're saying. And so question for me then. So why should Rotherham, like in your opinion, why were you saying at the start of the season that Rotherham should be getting top 2 then?
Because I think with the players we've got, that squad is capable of top 2. It's not just about.
So it isn't just that money. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I know. That's what I was trying to say. I
believe we've got the players to do it. Kelly Forbobs keeps saying 15th. It's not 15th.
Yeah, Kelly's definitely 7th. Someone.
Next year though, but it'll be about 18th,
if we finish 7th or 6th in the playoffs, I believe you give him another chance next season. Yeah, if we finish in the top 7, because that's the budget he's got. Yeah, the top 7 budget. So if you get promoted with a top 7 budget, you've overachieved. That's fact. In business, if you work it out as a business model, you are where you invest as your business. So you will project, right, we've got the 7th highest budget in the league, so you can finish no lower than 7th. Yeah. That's how a business works. Forget football, because football is a business. Tony Stewart will look at that and say, right, I'm outlaying the 7th most in the league. You cannot finish below 7th.
I don't think he will though, because that's Evans' spending. Them 2-year deals, what he gave Dawson's on a massive
It
wage.
doesn't matter. Does it again?
Liam Kelly,
It doesn't matter. No.
John Newgill's. I know that's not it.
Adam, forget that. He's took the job knowing the players he's got. So if you're a good manager, you tell him to piss off. I'm not accepting that because
you look. I didn't. Yeah, it wasn't Steve Evans who offered Coyote a new contract. It wasn't Steve Evans who picks Joe Rafferty every game, or Cameron Dawson, or Jordan Hugill, or
players.
Because what?
I bet next season, how many of them players are going to be at the club?
Adam, anybody on this planet would have said wave goodbye and said you're not good enough, mate. He didn't.
Pay him off on that big wage. You've got to play him.
You can get rid of players. Like I agree with Hugill. With Hugill,
we got rid of Johnson Clark Harris.
Exactly.
He won more money than Hugill.
Yeah. I also agree with you. Yeah. I also agree with you.
Got more money than Jordan Hugill, and we got rid of it.
He were shocking him. Obviously, you're not going to get rid of your obviously Clark Harris.
Because everybody was saying about Dawson. Oh, he could have got rid of Dawson.
Yeah,
but he didn't
easily. Yeah, easily.
He loves Dawson. He endorsed Dawson. He wanted Dawson.
I bet you £1,000 Dawson's not at club next year.
It doesn't matter. I don't think it doesn't matter. That doesn't matter.
It will be a contract this year. He's out of contract. His contract.
It won't be. It won't be because Dawson loves playing for Matt Hamshaw, and Matt Hamshaw loves Dawson. He'll get a new contract. Guaranteed.
So Adam, right?
Anyway, Adam, Dawson is in. If you go on FootMob, he's in the top 4 keepers in the league this season for stats.
No, I'm not saying he's a bad keeper. I think the save he did last second half against Wycombe.
But Evans signed him, and you're saying everybody else Evans signed shit.
No, I'm saying they're on big wages.
Doesn't matter.
Dawson's not on big wages. I wouldn't have thought.
Well, he come from Championship at Wednesday to us.
Yeah, I'm not being funny, but we're already over our budget as we've already agreed, and we just have to sign Duncan Watmore. What about Duncan Watmore then? He's going to be on big wages.
If you're about $2,000 a week, he'll be on no.
Romo says 90% of Evans signing.
Yep, exactly, 100%.
Season.
Yep.
Kelly Ford Bob says this is brilliant. I think people are liking the meltdown. I bet they get new contracts, but on less cash.
If we get
the thing is as well, Adam, what I would say is, right, let's say you're right? Let's say that the reason we're struggling is because it's all Steve Evans' fault. That's what you're saying, right? Right? With 13th, Adam, we are still struggling with 13th. We should be top 7, right?
We're not struggling. We've got no players.
I would argue, right? I'd argue with you that all these players who you're kind of dismissing as Evans signings not very good, right? So Dawson, Rafferty, Hugill, whoever, right? A good manager would get the best out of these players.
And I mean, he's getting the best out of his players.
So why are we only 13th then? Why are we 13th? And not top 2. Right.
We've got no defender.
Right.
We've got no team.
Who offered these injured players, injured strikers a contract?
You're going now. You're saying,
well, who did do? You can't have it both ways. So you can't have it both ways.
Right. So we've got no striker. Ndombe's injured. Sheriff's injured. Atete's injured. Admittably, 2 out of the 3, we've not seen the full.
But who signed him?
Yeah, who signed him?
Yeah, if they were fit.
No, not if
you just said on one hand. You just on one hand.
Calm it down here, lads. But listen, you're driving me insane. So last season, everybody went crazy. Oh, Steve Evans signed everybody that's injured. Blah blah blah. All the players that have signed are injured. But now Matt Hamshaw signs him. Well, it's unlucky, isn't it? It don't just fucking happen.
Yeah.
You give
Evans
the man
had
made
flat
out of
Harris.
chocolate a new
Evans had flat
contract,
Harris and Hugo.
and then cried that he's not fit.
Yeah.
The man's
You could-
made out of fucking plasticine.
Yeah. Adam, you can't argue both ways. You've got to have it where if you make an argument, it's got to be the same argument for both managers. You can't do it both ways.
It all in. He is. Tom's created this motherfucker.
I know he has. He's still whole, yeah.
Fucking grenade. I'm sat there chilling, nice evening, watching Terrace Talk, and then him and John come out saying that Matt Hamshaw should be sacked, even if we're promoted. It's ludicrous. And I've proven it's ludicrous because you cannot sack him if you get promoted. And I'm his biggest critic. I called him Big Boy, yeah? I'm his biggest critic, but I'll battle anybody that tells me you can sack him after he gets us promoted this season. Come on, Tom. Are you going to admit that I'm right and you're wrong here?
I'll tell you what, Lee. Clip that, pal, because that is the biggest U-turn in history, mate.
U-turn? What do you mean? What do you mean U-turn?
No.
Convinced him.
He was Pip Boy, but now he's.
I know. When are you not?
Listen. No, I'm not. I'm not pro Matt. This is the thing, but I'm saying
I know.
I'm a realist. Yeah, what I'm going to say is I'm a realist. Yeah, I respect that Rotherham fans can disagree and not agree. Yeah, it's all in good. It's all in good taste. Yeah, I love a good bit of banter with anybody. But people were saying to me, "Oh no, he's just saying it for clickbait." Listen, if you've read the messages between me and Matt, me and Tom today, Tom actually believes what he's saying, and I'm not with it. Yeah, because I think. But it doesn't mean Tom's a bad person, or he's just. I think he's wrong on this one, and he's not convinced me with anything he said that convinces me that he's not. Because I think if he gets this team promoted with the 7th best budget, with a shocking injury record, with granted the league is terrible, so it makes it a little bit easier. And I fully understand what you're saying, and I think if we had the best budget in the league, yeah, and we were throwing money at it, and we were run really well off the pitch, and we got the best squad in League One. And if Hamshaw got promoted, but it wasn't a very good promotion, we kind of bundled us way over the line. I would see an argument for getting a championship-proven manager in that you know is going to do it, because you think actually he's had all that money and he's struggled with League One. Maybe the step's too far. But we're not at that stage. We're at a stage where we're run shit off the pitch. As wage bill's only 7th best in the league, so it's not one of the best ones. The chairman is kind of not even really backing him, so he's got less money than what Steve Evans had. You have to put a bit of blame on that to Matt Hamshaw for accepting that in the first place. That's poor management from him in himself, because I wouldn't agree to a worse budget than previous season when we failed with a better budget. But yeah,
I'm sure he
if
took
he gets
it.
promoted, I can't sack him.
So that again,
Right, you know,
No, I was saying that's great, so I'm sure he took the job, because other managers came, had a chat with Stuart, saw the budget, saw the overspend, and thought, no. And he thought, oh yeah, actually, there's so much to work with here. I'll give it a go. And I think when he gets his players back,
Yeah, but Adam, come on, mate. The guy was third choice on about 50p a week at MK Dons, or you get a manager's job in League One. It's an opportunity for him.
It's a massive opportunity for him, yeah, massive. Yeah.
I honestly believe there were better managers out there to get the job.
Did you just say he's doing a great job? Did you just say that?
he's doing a great job. Him and Dale Tong. Dale Tong's underestimated. He's coming from Peterborough.
So, I'm not going to wind you up, right? So if we finish 13th, right, because that's where we are now, are you saying that's a good job? Seriously, it's a genuine question.
At the minute, 13th is all right for what we've got.
Oh, come on.
Sorry.
Listen,
I asked if we finish 13th, is that good? I'm just asking that.
what in end of season if you finish 13th?
Yeah, end of season, yeah.
No.
Right, okay. Sorry, I was unsure then because you were making out as though like 13th was good for Rotherham. That's what I thought you were saying.
At the minute now it's all right. Considering what we've
Rotherham
got.
gaming
How is
seems
it-
he's got his popcorn and his champagne out. User UZ says, glad you're all friends. Carmel Farrell says, haha, Adam's background. On paper, then he's proven he can do it with less. And then when the big hitters are gone wages wise, Tony should give him more to play with. What do you say to that?
Well,
That's what Adam's been saying, to be fair to him.
Yeah.
if we don't
So
go
Adam, you're Mr. Hamshaw. You're like, we don't know where Hamshaw begins and you end, yeah? We've established that he's up your backside right now with his little crown making love to you behind you.
King Hammy. There's no King
Hammy.
King Hammy. Right,
King
go on.
Hammy. Yeah. I mean, I think Hammy has to thank me for a lot of what's going right, because I think obviously my criticism of him is learning a little bit from the King himself. Do you know what I mean? But are you saying if we don't get promoted and say we finish 13th, so we don't get promoted, we finish 13th, would you keep Matt Hamshaw?
Yes.
No
Fair enough.
chance.
Stop it.
Well, it's interesting because where did Evans finish? Did Evans finish 12th? Didn't
15th.
you know? No, Evans finished 12th, I
Yeah,
think.
but you look at the budget Evans had. Evans was splashing money on players. Amis had to take these. Look at next season. All right, say we finish 13th.
Adam, who are you blaming that on? You blaming that on Tony Stewart, or you blaming it on Matt Hamshaw for taking the job, knowing that you've got a crap
No, I'm
budget?
blaming it on Steve. Well, I'm blaming it on Tony and Steve Evans because Steve Evans.
How can you blame it on Steve Evans that Hamshaw's agreed his budget? Come on, man. Even
No,
you're
but
not that stupid.
Hamshaw's not here for 1 year, is he? He's here for a long term. He's going to rebuild the team. He's got.
Is it?
Don't do that again. Don't get into rebuild again, please.
Oh, mate, he's not.
How's it
How's he
being rebuilt?
rebuilding it? They're going to sell him. They've already said they're going to sell him.
Look at players out of contract.
Every season, this club,
8
every
players
season
out
is
of
a rebuild. I can't even, mate, my head's going to pop off. I can't even go into that again with you.
I bet, and in summer, I bet five players out of 8 are on biggest wages who are out of contract. You give that money to Hamshaw and he's going to spend it wisely. But I think he's that good, he will get promoted this year.
I'm sure doesn't buy the players, you know. You do know that, don't you?
No, but obviously it's Evans that agreed the players and he agreed the big. Well,
No, it's not.
Agreed the big contract.
That isn't how it works.
Yeah.
We have a recruitment team, which is Rob Scott. Evan, he will give a list of players to Hamshaw that we have a chance of signing, that he's scouted, and then the manager will pick the players out. So it's Rob Scott who's picked the players, not Hamshaw.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No disrespect, but Hamshaw will have no idea how good Denzel Hall was. He won't have any idea. That was Rob Scott only.
He's watched him. Of course, he's watched him. You
No,
think
he's
Evans?
not.
Sorry, when's he watched him? When's he watched him? Like when?
He said that in an interview.
He hasn't watched. I know he hasn't watched him. No, he hasn't watched
So
him.
basically, what the manager does, he will give the recruitment a profile of players.
Correct. Yeah.
And what happens is the scouts go out and
Correct,
search for that profile of player.
Feedback to the manager.
That's how football works now.
Yeah.
It isn't a
I
case
say,
of
Adam, like I guarantee that that Hamshaw hasn't watched a full 90 minutes of Denzel Hall before he signed him. I guarantee it.
I guarantee you he has.
Kelly Forbob's kind of agreeing what he's saying. They'll watch clips. That's all they'll watch.
They'll watch clips. Yeah, they'll watch. That's why he said 90 minutes.
He's got to go out and watch him. He can't just sign
No, he
players.
doesn't.
You don't do that anymore. Honestly, you don't do that anymore.
When's he done that?
Of course, he'll go out and watch him.
But when?
It was said in the summer that flipping. He was what? Do you know? Even if Steve Evans were there, we would have signed Martha and we would have signed Denzel Hall. You do know that, don't you? We would have. We would have. It was said in the summer. Oh my God, flipping it.
All right.
It's stupid, surely.
All right.
We've been watching both players for a couple of years, right?
He's been watching Denzel Hall and Martha
Right,
for 2
okay,
years.
post the evidence then. Post the evidence. If you can post the evidence to that, I'll agree, but I don't agree.
Okay, I'll post it 'cause there's an interview. But then you're going to say it's Paul Davis, so...
No. If it's Paul Davis that posts it, it's all right. If you can find evidence that they've been watching him for 2 years, then why not sign
Adam.
He said, Adam, he did say on an article the day, didn't somewhere? Yeah.
Adam, Hamshaw didn't go clog shopping in Netherlands, right, and come across some games where there's a couple of decent players like.
You've also got to think as well, though, Adam, like on a serious note, Rotherham play their games on a Saturday at 3 o'clock, right? And a lot of European teams play on a Saturday or even a Sunday. It's hard for Hamshaw or any manager to be at his own game and then go to a game as well. It is difficult.
But did you see Evans interviews last year? I went and watched him.
Yeah, I did, but they were all English, i.e. midweek English games. There's a difference going abroad and getting a plane and going abroad. Massive difference.
Rests on it. Rotherham Gaming says they watch the data software.
No, that's not United.
We wouldn't league because Steve Evans doesn't want young players. He wanted season pros.
Exactly, yeah.
No, that's not correct. Actually, if you actually listen to Steve Evans, he was actually trying to bring the profile of the age of the players down. And actually, it was brought down slightly to the previous year before. So he did actually bring the profile of the age down. So that's nonsense. They were going to sign regardless this season, Martha and Hall. That was 2 years in the making, 2 years hard work from Rob Scott. Thank you, Rob Scott, because that's a fantastic job what you've done. So
I see Rob Scott every Sunday at Greensboro Dam, so I'll ask him.
Ask him.
He walks his dogs on Greensboro Dam every Sunday, so I'll ask
him. Who? Sorry, who?
Rob Scott.
Oh, Rob Scott, yeah.
Everything is videotaped and streamed nowadays. Tony bought a dodgy fire stick for him.
That's probably true.
That is probably true. So that's been emotional. So Tom, just before we go, Rotherham get promoted. He's still stacking Hamshaw. Is there no?
Yes.
Why?
I don't want to again. He's already given his point of view. He wants his proactive rather than reactive. That's what he said.
Yeah, I get that, but I think it is extremely harsh to sack a manager. Do
you know what I will say, Lee? You've made a fantastic argument today. You all have, actually. You've made a great argument regarding the budget. However, like I say, I stand by my opinions. If we were to go up, knowing our recent history, I would still pull the trigger. Caveat, if we're playing like prime Barcelona, Real Madrid, and we're pissed the league, then different story altogether. However, your analogy about my not being better than your teacher, I think was fantastic. So yeah. I will step back on that. Look, I wish no ill on Matt Hamshaw. I really just hope he gets us promoted. Listen, last night I said that, and I still stand by it. But like I said, from the very beginning, since I've joined this show, prove me wrong. Lee, lads, thank you.
Yeah, no worries. So we'll quickly skate onto the game on. So we've got a game on Tuesday and we've got a game on Saturday. So I want to get your predictions for those games quickly before we finish off. So Bez, I'll start with you. Tuesday night game. What's your prediction and what's your prediction for Saturday?
We ain't got a game. We ain't got a game Saturday, have we? There's no game Saturday. It's FA Cup.
Blackpool's next game.
Yeah, so the game's on Wednesday. It's a week on Wednesday, yeah. So we'll do those two. We'll do the Tuesday game this week and then a week on Wednesday. So Tuesday, Salford away in that cup. I'm going for a 0-0 draw and we win on penalties.
Oh, okay. Adam?
Yeah, 1 second. I'm just ordering me Cuban cigars for when Tom's wrong.
Salford.
Yeah, I think I don't know. Salford, he can put any team out. Can he'll probably will have no strike. He might as well rest Hugo because he's obviously knackered. I mean, who are going to put up front? So I'll say, yeah, a draw's going to be good. A draw will be good. Put Josh Ayres up front, give him a chance. That's all in strike we've got in club. Or a little youngster coming out of nowhere. Get Kane Richardson on left-hand side.
Unless we get one more registered in time playing.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening. I mean, I know you were training Monday, but it's gone quiet now. So whether Amis not liking him or what, but it's all gone quiet.
No, it's all down to Big Tony.
He's already said, Bush, Lee's already said, haven't you?
Yeah.
Oh, have you spoke to Tony?
Big Tone. No, I didn't speak to Tone, but
You've been down to golf club and had a few wines with him.
Trying to get
just on the Blackpool game. I'm going for a win there. I'm going for a 2-1 win, Rotherham to beat Blackpool.
Well, obviously, how many days' time is it? 6 days' time? Yeah, I think.
No, it's not 6. It's 7, 8, 9 days' time.
Oh, easy. Is Nombe going to be back? Let's have a look.
You do yours then, Tom, while Adam does that.
Right, so we'll beat Salford tomorrow 3-1. I think Josh Ayres will go up front. I think it'll be a second string team. I think this tournament saved Matt Hamshaw's job against Oldham, so I think he might give it a little bit more respect now. Also, against Blackpool, I fancy us against Blackpool. You know, I fancy us to win 4-0.
Right, so I'm going to go for Salford. I think we'll beat them 1-0. And I think the midfielder will score. Don't know which one. And I'm going to go for 3-0 at home against Blackpool.
Yeah, because Blackpool are third bottom of the league. I mean, although exactly Blackpool and Plymouth have spent probably most in league. They've got high wages. Blackpool's shocking. They had Steve Brooks as manager and he was doing an absolute horrible job. I'll say I think Blackpool, if we've got a striker available, it should be an easy win. Obviously, if Watmore is coming through, play him off Hugo, I think it'll be 2-3-0.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, fair enough. Few comments just before we go. So, damned if he doesn't, damned if he does. A real incentive.
That's not Tom, that, isn't it?
Yeah. Get yourself a camel coat to match Tony. I got my Moncler instead. I'll just roll with the Moncler. I'll roll with a Monclizzy instead. But thank you for everybody in the chat. It's been emotional. Tom's blown my mind. Adam is just in love with Hamshaw. I think he's going to go and get married at the end of the show. And Bez has just been Bez. Fantastic. It's been a really good show. We have got the interview I did with ex-Rotherham United and my ex-teammate and very good friend Paul Dillon.
Which is fantastic, by the way.
Yeah. I've put a couple of clips out. There's some fantastic insights of stuff that happened at the club them years back in the glory days when me and Sedgy and Monkey used to go out to the old Masons and party on down. There's some great stories. You will find a player on there that he called a cheat, that downed tools whilst he was at Rotherham. So really interesting. Some great stuff with Ronnie Moore as well. It's sort of fantastic. I just want to thank everybody in the chat. It really we couldn't do this out without you, because otherwise we'd be talking to ourselves on a WhatsApp group. So thank you for everybody that's watching. Please tell your friends about us. Share it if you can. It's really appreciated. Please like, share, and subscribe. And like I said, up the Millers. And hopefully we are going to keep this unbeaten run going. And then obviously at the end of the season, when we get promoted, we can revisit it with Tom.
Oh, yeah.
Still believes that Hamshaw should get sacked, because that'll be interesting. But for me, I know these guys are saying that I'm Matt Hamshaw lover now. I wouldn't say I'm fully convinced.
Come down.
But I do have to give credit where credit's due, and I think he is proving to be doing a little bit better than he was when I did want him to go. I think our Rotherham United's back, and I think everybody just needs to stick together as a fan base, and let's get this club back to the Championship where it belongs. For me, let's not be playing in this pub league for much longer. I'm sick of playing Mansfield, Doncaster and little ratty teams like that. I can't be doing with them. I want to be back with the big boys. But I want to say as well, John mentioned it earlier, obviously the young Rotherham United fan that lost his life to cancer, really touching story. The club did a fantastic job with the video as well. So my thoughts and best wishes go out to everybody that knew him and his family and everything like that. And I just want to finish on up the Millers, and we will see you again. When will we see him again? What day are we on?
Wednesday.
After match reaction tomorrow.
Thursday. The Paul Dillon thing goes out on Wednesday. We're live again for Premiership chat on Thursday, and then it'll be. I don't think we'll be doing, unless you guys want to do it or people want to see it, but after match reaction for Salford.
I'll do it. I'll 100% do it. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do one. We'll do one.
Yeah.
We'll do an after match from Salford, and hopefully we are in the next round and we're going to Wembley again. Anything else from you guys before we shut off?
Top class, lads. I really enjoyed it.
In fact, Adam, can you just sing a Matt Hamshaw song, your favourite Matt Hamshaw song to drown the out of to let us go? Sing your favourite Matt Hamshaw song to us.
I'm not a good singer, but I can guarantee end of the season I'll get Tom a ticket for end of season parade on last game of the season when we're promoted. Me and him will be flags in arms. We love you, Army. We love you. Oh, I'm sure we love you.
Well done,
that was fantastic. Well done, Adam. So, if you see Adam, be careful. There'll probably be about 5 or 6 women around him, all over him. He's the new Rotherham celebrity. Look out for him. He's on all socials. Don't worry about it. Thank you for watching again, guys. And we will see you again on Thursday. Up the Millers.
Millers.
Up the Millers.